to the dentist. I had a fitting for BET weekend for some events I'm hosting. And I said, oh no, you're the first person to hit me up to chat about the book. So you
Oh,
made it into a good list because I wasn't talking to nobody for at least another week. So I was like, no, I want to talk to her.
yes, because
How
one,
are you?
I am good. I'm excited because congratulations on being number one on multiple lists.
Oh, girl, it's like 8 lists. I can't keep up because when you click the book, it doesn't give you all the listings of all the time. So every time I check it, it'll be something different, like 2 hour health read, 2 hour fitness read, 3 hour by bibliography. Like it's just all these different lists. But I'm so appreciative. I'm so thankful. I'm even thankful for you downloading my book.
Yes, you know what? Listen, when I saw it on Twitter, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I had to go. And then I also put it in my carousel when I was doing live streams. Like, y'all have to get the book because it's important to support. And the actual, the title of the book, Mess with the Message. People don't really understand, you know, how important it is you have to pay attention to the message. Forget everything else
Yes,
that's around it, and
and that's a lot of lessons I learned.
you've proven to everyone, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I mean, I just feel like I've seen you, like, low key. This is what makes me smile so much because we all, like, we were introduced to you through College Hill. Now I'm in the DMV, so I knew you when you were on the radio.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, you
WKYS.
remember that? Yes, my first job post College Hill. While College Hill was airing, I was on the radio at WCDX Power 92.
You were here, and it was like, a lot of people don't understand, like, if you follow someone and you see their growth and you see how amazing they truly are, and I was like, my chance to give you your flowers because you've inspired a generation.
Oh, thank you.
You
Oh my
have, like,
goodness.
I will be forever grateful for that because you showed your vulnerable side. You showed the parts that normally people don't really want to show, but you showed those.
No, I don't mind it. With a little tequila, I'll show anything.
I just, and it's an amazing. It's one of those things that I tell people all the time. Like, there are success stories, and there are people who you saw at the beginning, and you knew they were going to be successful. You just knew they were going to be
It's
successful.
I have been on this journey, like I tell people all the time. Like I'm not even saying in the bragging kind of way. Like my 15 minutes literally started 15 years ago, and I'm still here. And I attribute that to keeping God first. Because I slip and trip. We all do. I slip and trip. I have no problem saying when I'm wrong, and I have no problems going home to regroup. And I'm so thankful that I've had the East Coast and the West Coast to go home to with my mother and her side of the family is here in California, and then my father and all that family on that side is all in the DMV. So when I get tired of one, I can go to the other one, and a lot of people don't have that. So I'm so thankful that my family has been instrumental in my success, and they've allowed me to, when I need to move around and shift energy, I've been able to do that, and I believe that should be something that everyone tries to do. Shift your energy. If it ain't right over here, move it over there. Just don't stay there and dwell in it because that's what makes you evil and bitter and mean. You start tweeting evil stuff, leaving negative comments every time. Like, I just believe in keep protecting your energy and shifting it to where it needs to be.
And that is the positive speak we need to. And then people need to watch what they say to themselves and understand, like, if it's not right over here, go where you are going to get the food that you need, not the food, like, that you eat, but the food for your soul. So I love that.
Mm.
So what inspired you to write your book? Like, what inspired that?
So I wrote it last year during the pandemic. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, at my best friend's house because LA was shutting down, and I actually went to go visit him, not knowing that. Literally, I went to visit him on a Tuesday, and Wednesday, COVID hit LA, and everything was shut down. Like literally.
Oh no.
So I ended up staying in LA. Then LA's numbers were super crazy throughout the entire pandemic, and I was like, I ain't trying to catch none of what that is. So I'm gonna just stay right here in Atlanta where it's open. and things seemed no normal. I know in the news it seemed like it was a bad thing that Atlanta was open and wasn't closed, but I promise you, I was outside that whole pandemic and never caught COVID. I kept a mask. So my COVID experience was a little different from other people who actually had to sit home and, not do anything.
Right.
And I was just sitting there like, okay, well, we're clearly not filming Love and Hip Hop this year, so I have time. What do I want to do? Well, there's nothing you really can do because there was no news, there were no shows filming, no movies being made, no commercials. There was nothing being done anywhere across the board. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be over eventually. What can I do now that I've always wanted to do that I can do later? I said, okay, grad school. I've always wanted to go back to grad school. I never had the time to do it because I was always jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. Well, at this point, I didn't know when America was going to open back up again. And they were still having classes online. And I was like, darn, I could have took a class online this semester. So I went ahead and enrolled at Virginia State University. I got accepted for the fall semester. So I finished my first semester recently with a 3.5 GPA
You
in
better.
media management, you know. And so at the same time, while I was getting myself mentally prepared to go back to school, because I honestly have not been in school since 2006. So again, it's been 15 years. And it was all new. Everything's digital, everything's online now,
Mhm.
everything's way different. You have to stand in line for validation and all that. Um, I said, okay, I want to finish up my board game. I've been working on the board game for about 4 years. It was originally called Yardopoly because I wanted to be like an HBCU version of Monopoly. And then I said, no, I'm tired of us building stuff on other people. I don't want to build nothing on what somebody else got. Let me build my own thing. So I came up with my own board game. It is in celebration of Monopoly, but it's totally different. You're playing for credits. It's HBCU trivia, campus mail, pop culture facts in there. You land on the spaces, you land on the department, you can declare your major. If you land on other spaces, you got to take classes. So instead of you paying hotel and house fees, you're paying for credits. You can also use those credits to equal money, and you can go to campus events. And the main thing is to have 120 credits by the time your fourth time around the board, which is technically your senior year. But
Yep.
you have the option to be a super senior and continue to go around till you get your 120. But it's called Yard U now. It's being produced by a black-owned female company named In All Seriousness. They produced the Hillman game. And also, Fairfax Studios has partnered with me to present the game on the financial side. So I'm super excited going from book to movie to board game. I just wanted to do things that I could do at home because we were at home for a whole year. And
But
God has blessed me.
I mean, and like for me, I'm actually going back to school. I'm going to take some classes at Howard. I didn't go to HBCU, so I'm going to take a
Okay.
couple classes because I need to get that under my belt because I feel like everybody should at least attend the HBCU at least for a semester. Whatever, you got to go get the
Just get the
experience.
experience. Girl, even going through validation and new student registration is an experience within itself. You ain't really got to enroll. I'm just joking. No, but I promise you, I encourage everyone to get the HBCU experience. One of my nieces went to Virginia State after I went. Before I went, plenty of my elders in my family went, older cousins, and my dad went there. I mean, just Virginia State is a part of my family's legacy. Virginia State and Virginia Union, actually. Just shout out to Virginia State, Virginia Union, Norfolk State, Morgan State, Hampton. We had Morehouse in the family. We got some Spelman. We come from a very heavy HBCU family on both sides. My grandparents, my mother's mother went to Jackson State. My grandfather went to Tougaloo. They were both AKA and Alpha. My mother actually went to USC, but she went and got her master's at Charles Drew University out here in LA, which is the only historically black HBCU medical school that's out here in LA. So
Oh
she
my
did go to
god!
Charles Drew and get her degree out there. So I was born into blended excellence, and I talked about that in the book.
And I love. Okay, so let's go to the book real quick now. For
You
those
don't
who
mind me
have
smoking
not,
my hookah, do you?
it's okay. It's all right. We're allowed. We're talking. My conversations, like my slogan is "Conversations begin with a smile." As long as you're smiling, the conversation is going to flow. It's going to be great. I'm excited to get the book because I didn't read it on Kindle yet because I like the pages.
That's what a lot of my relatives are saying. A lot of them bought it on Kindle and started skimming through it and reading it. And
Uh,
a couple of them were sending me pictures today, like, "Oh, the book came today." So my book will be here tomorrow.
Mine will be here on
I don't
Friday, and I'm
I
like,
don't physically have the book. I literally can give you some tea right now. I literally wrote that book last year, and then we finally started editing it, putting the pictures in because I was stop, start, stop, start. Then I was in grad school, excuse me, and I was writing like 40-page papers. Then I was like, home girl. I was like, okay, what we gonna do? So finally, I set the date for Juneteenth weekend. I knew that's when I wanted it. And so we had to go through just do revisions, just do the legal check on it, just to make sure everything's clear through Viacom and all the other places, things that I mentioned and named in the book, and make sure everything that all that was cleared. We literally submitted this book the Monday of the week the book dropped.
Oh my gosh. See,
Because
that's
I'm that anal. I'm that anal. I wanted to. There were certain things that I healed from, but I didn't want to talk about because the other person might not have healed from it. So I had to go back and just make sure that family was cool, friends were cool. I just took out the whole chapter actually about my exes because I was like, I ain't trying to give nobody no time to shine on my behalf. So I was like, that chapter is gone. So sorry. It was very juicy. Maybe in the next book, I am doing a second book.
I'm
So
glad about that because we, everybody need a sequel. We definitely gonna need a sequel. We definitely gonna need, the tea on that. You're like, and then I just checked. You're number one in college and university life.
yes, I am. I'm number
Oh,
one in
hold
college
on.
university life. I think it's LGBT plays or some drama and plays. And there's another one called 2 Hour Biography or Memoir on Health, Fitness, and Dieting. And then before that, it was another one on self help motivation. It just keeps, people are just, I don't know. I can say thank you. Y'all are buying my book. I love it. I love that you all are supporting my story. And a lot of times I felt like the reason I did not connect very well with the love and hip hop audience, though over the years now people have grown to get to know my personality, but coming in, I was very buttoned up and polished because I came from a different era of reality television where we black, we supposed to carry ourselves a certain way on television. I mean, that was
Yep.
the rule for the college hill. It was no fighting. Anything you do to embarrass yourself at the university, you'll be expelled from university and kicked off the show. And that was the mentality that I went into loving hip hop. Well, them rules on apply over there. So I was a little guarded because I was, again, I was 10 years removed at that time from reality television. And this was a whole new format of reality television. This wasn't College Hill. Love and Hip Hop is its own beast
It
that I
is.
have successfully been a part of for 4 seasons, going on 4 seasons now. Still a part. Just throw that out there. Still there.
You've
um,
given you've given a voice of reason to love and hip hop that was not there before. You get what I'm
I mean,
saying?
they put me in the mess too, though. I mean, don't they? Well, let me not say they. I got in some mess as well because at the end of the day, this is a job. And I know what this show was before it started because I've seen it since the first season of New York when my girlfriend Samaya was on it. I was actually asked to be on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood the first season. Tierra Maria actually reached out to me to be on it the first season because I knew everybody. I was no, I've been known. I've been in these streets now. I'm a party favor. I'm a party guy. I'm a good time, and nobody. And people can say a million things about me, but they will always say they had a good time with me. And I was actually living in DC, thinking I wanted to be normal, and I had a corporate job, and I was like, let me see what corporate life was like. Let me just appease my family and just put this degree to use for something else besides television. I did it for 5 years. I was really good at it, and I was able to work with my sister, so that was always awesome. And a couple of my cousins worked there as well at Amtrak in DC because my dad, he the HNIC over there. He was before he retired. And I got tired of it. People were coming on the train, or people would see me in the station or different work events, and be like, "Why are you here? Why aren't you on TV? You're so funny. You should be doing this. You should be doing that." So at one point in time, I was actually juggling my time between Amtrak and WeTV, going to New York for free on the train because I worked at Amtrak, and that's how I was able to do all my WeTV stuff because I was working at Amtrak, and I got to
Right.
ride the train for free. And then one day, my manager pissed me off at Amtrak. I was like, you know what? Can I cuss on here?
Go ahead, because they
I said, I said, F this uniform, F this job, F these people who ain't been to college talking crazy to me, F these passengers talking crazy to me and smelling any kind of way they want to smell, F these rules. I'm going home, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to have a drink, and then I'm going to get in an Uber and I'm going to go see my friends. I'm done with this job. I'm done. Like, I was just done. Of course, my dad talked me down and was like, no, son, go back. Don't do that. And I held out for like another couple months, and then I just didn't feel respected. I didn't feel like I felt like I was being taken advantage of because there were certain things that were happening that I just did not approve. Like I was doing the work for someone else's job that shouldn't have had it. Like there's no way you're gonna tell me that there should be a white woman in charge of African American outreach.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm the one doing the outreach and she's getting the check. I said, oh no 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 no. I'm good. Goodbye.
That's
Peace.
not how that's supposed
And
to work. I mean, and the thing is, you provided a diversity to that needed to be, and that's the thing that I think people don't understand about corporate America. They'll have someone who is the face of it, but someone else doing the work and not understanding the work that's being done. So I just
right.
want people to understand this is not how that works, and I'm glad that you stood up for yourself and went home.
And let me just be very clear. It was not Amtrak that did this to me. It was the management that was in place there. And
Right.
the company itself as a whole took care of me, gave me stability, taught me time management. I met some it was kind of cool, but it was also like it was like a sword. It was like a double-edged sword. It was cool to be there as the son of Ray Cunningham Jr. and the brother of Samantha Taylor. But then at the same time, because my sister and my dad did so many awesome things at that company, and then I came behind them. I'm college educated. I'm on television. I've been on television. I've had some other corporate jobs. I came in and was kicking ass, excuse my French, and a lot of my accomplishments were overshadowed by, oh, he only got that because of his dad, only got that because of his sister. Oh, his goddad's here. Oh, his uncle's here. Oh, his cousins are here. Oh, he only got that because he's gay. Oh, they get that to him because he's the only black guy over there. Like, it was never just because I was qualified and I was good at what I did. So I left.
That's not a good thing, and I really wish people understand. Like some people pay their dues. You paid your dues. You went to college. You did what you were supposed to do, and that's how it's supposed to work.
Well, in the work world, I found out in transportation specifically, well, what I was doing at Amtrak, it was a humbling experience for me because I came in there like I got a degree and there's managers and supervisors here who basically have basic college education, basic high school education with no college degree. And you trying to tell me? And I that had and that was one of my biggest pet peeves about working at Amtrak. And my sister actually had to remind me it's not even about it's about respect on the railroad and it's about seniority on the railroad. So once I had seniority, I understood things a little differently. Once I had some respect from some of my peers and some of my older um, constituents, um, I felt a little bit better about the job. But I knew that Ray Cunningham was not supposed to be at Amtrak. I did it because it was something that I know that I wanted to do. I'm glad to have been a part of that legacy with my father, my grandfather, and my sister, because we are a railroad family. But riding the train is cool, but working on it ain't for me. I knew that I got too much personality to be sitting on the train or being in the office at the train station, or I just knew I felt that something was calling me back that I needed to finish what I started in LA, and that was my television career. I felt like I was more wise. I was wiser. Excuse me. I had more insight, more intel, had a lot more experience, so I knew what to do the second time around, and I didn't know Love and Hip Hop was in the cards. I just knew I was going back to LA.
The thing is, the blessing in that is you were informed, but you knew you could navigate better than a lot of people because you were not new to television production and stuff like that. You weren't new to that. So you were able to,
Right.
what I'm saying, you were able to acclimate yourself and go for what you knew, and you. I like watching episodes with you on them.
And let me tell you something. Those episodes, if you like them and you think they're funny, which is so crazy to me because there's so much dialogue they cut out from our green screens and then even from the scene. Like, trust me, I don't ever just show up and I'm sitting there quiet. As they show me. Now they love showing my facial expressions because I do talk with my face.
Yes,
Um,
face
but
ain't the limit.
check
We already
yourself.
know what's going on.
But check yourself is where I really got to just find my voice and just be myself. So if you watch Check Yourself after the episode's aired, I'm pretty much dominant on that. So giving commentary about the whole episode. So I enjoy Love and Hip Hop. I enjoy it for what it is for me. I know what it is for the fans.
Hmm.
And as long as I'm there, I'm going to deliver that. I know what my job is. I know what the assignment is, and I'm going to give what needs to be given so that I continue to get these checks. And the most important thing is that you don't lose yourself in this. You can be whatever character you need to be in that moment, or whatever the situation calls for. But you control your social media and the narrative that you paint.
And I love, the episode that stood out to me the most was you introduced people to Pride and the events and stuff that went on, and how you introduced a lot of people to that side of things. Like, even though this is Pride Month, so a lot of people are getting back out there, but you introduced people to to doing events that were meaningful and purposeful during a time where it's celebration. And
Right.
I love the way that like, this is a you when you said this is an event that people, I was like, oh, see, don't go to people event acting crazy when they're giving you a chance to be on a.
And again, that situation, Jay Will and I are very good friends. We're cool. I wish him all the best. He went on to do Wild 'N Out, and I think he relocated to Atlanta. But the storyline between Jay Will and I, it wasn't fully fleshed out. It was a lot of scenes we shot that got deleted, unfortunately. But Jay Will had his own situation where he was struggling to. He wanted his voice heard as himself, not as just
Mhm.
the character of Candy. Though Candy was his breadwinner, and that was big part of why he was casted on the show. And that was our back and forth was about you're on this show to be Candy. Tell your story as Jay Will. Tell Candy's story, but as Jay Will.
Right.
And I don't know if it was things that couldn't be shown or things just got edited out. I really feel like he deserved another season. I feel like his story wasn't fully told because he really is talented and he really is funny. But I had to be the auntie in that moment and let him know there's a time and a place for everything,
But
whether these cameras is rolling or not. I started like, so that's where everybody started calling me Auntie Ray.
that's the authenticity of you, because you will speak the truth no matter what is going on. Like, no, I gotta tap you on the shoulder. This is not what we're gonna do here.
And I was mad because it was a good time. Donatella was there, one of my former cast members, and we were having cocktails, we were drinking, it's hot outside, and he wanna act funny on the stage. I said, oh no. Oh no 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 no! Because you know, in Love and Hip Hop mode, when somebody points at you and they call you out on stage, it is showtime, baby. So I was
Yes.
like, ooh, I'm like, Lord, I've been drinking. Oh, and again, I'm not expecting to argue with my friend, but I know that I can go there if I need to because he knows what I'm going to say to him is not going to be shady and below the belt. It's going to be constructive criticism that probably we should have had off camera or at home. But we're on a show. We are hired and paid to have these conversations on camera. And sometimes a lot of times conversations we have we don't want to have on camera because we know the other person personally and we know what they're feeling off camera. We know what it's like. We all of us on Love and Hip Hop, any reality show actually, anybody that's a public figure. Let me just say that from the Vice President Kamala Harris on down to the person that's the assistant to somebody, we all have feelings. We're all out there. We're all people are watching us that we don't know. And more times than often, we read negative comments about us online.
Yep.
It's the culture now. Make comments, make jokes, make a meme, make go viral. That we get it. We do it. We engage in it as well. But with Jay Will, I wanted to show that us as two different individuals, as you clearly are, that we were able to get along and work together. And a lot of times you don't see black gay men on television working together. They always put us, not say they, we always end up against each other because of the narrative or how things are edited and put together. So I really want to just show that auntie nephew relationship between us, and what was able to be shown. It was shown because as you see at the end of the season, threw him an awesome social status event where he performed live. That was honestly out of all the scenes from Love and Hip Hop I filmed, there have been very few scenes that were I call them live, where it was open to the public. It was a
Mhm.
regular club night, regular club people. It was not announced that we were filming, and it was literally just from the flyers that we put out. It was that packed. It was a full house. It was over capacity. Fire marshal came. We shot that scene. He killed it. Kay Michelle and Monique and LaBrittany were actually there, but they cut them out of the scene. It's on the extended scene if you saw it online, but it meant a lot. I mean, there were the people that I filmed the most with Monique and K Michelle, Jay Will, and LaBrittany at that time were there, and it was an awesome time. And people really got to see me work and really got to see me do an event for the first time out of 2 seasons on Love and Hip Hop. Well, no, I'll take that back. I did a lot of events the first season. It just was always a fight. It
That's what
was always
you
a
always know.
tussle.
You're gonna see somebody arguing, crying, or fighting. One of the three.
I'm an emotional person. Either I'm gonna cry, cuss, or fight, or get slapped.
Yeah,
Cause my mouth be going, honey, and my mouth will make you want to slap me. I fight with my words.
but yeah, that kind of did make me mad. I was like, I know he did. See, we're not gonna do
Listen,
that.
that that I would say this much: out of everything that went on season 6, that slap wasn't even the worst thing that went on. There was so much that got cut from that season and did not air. Um, of
Ooh,
course, when it happened, I was in shock. Like, oh shit, again? Really? I like, bitch. Am I the Carly Red of Hollywood? Because Carly Red always gets slapped up on Atlanta. So I was like, oh, you know what? If that's my role in Hollywood, then I'm just call me the slap up mama. Then, but I'm gonna get my check. You gonna pay me though if I come
and
back.
this is the thing, and I will say that, and then but you do bring the voice of reason though, and that's the good part of it because you don't. It's not a you give a balanced voice. That's what I'll say. And that's what's
Yeah.
needed sometimes because even though we're seeing the edited version, they can't edit out the voice of reason.
Right. And whether you can get it in the episode or you can get it in the after show, I'm gonna give it.
And that's the biggest thing. I love that. And I love the fact that, because I tell people all the time, but like with you doing your book and, the game and stuff, you're leaving your legacy is so important. Like we have 15 years of experiencing you on TV. And
And
not
I thought
doing
that was an awesome number. I mean, again, my 15 minutes started 15 years ago, and a lot of people can't say that. And I'm so blessed, and I'm so thankful for the authentic friendships that I've been able to make in the industry, on camera and off camera. Is why I attest to why I'm still here. It's very few of us. It's Karamo, who's on Queer Eye now,
Yep.
winning all kind of awards. He was out when I was out. He was on Real World. I was on College Hill. Eva Marcel, my girl Eva from in Takara from Top Model. They're still working. Takara's hosting the Thick Room or the plus size model show on the Shade Room. And Eva was just on, I think, Atlanta. She was just on Atlanta Housewives.
Yep.
So it's Shay Johnson. It was on Flavor of Love. She's on, that's my sis. She's on Miami Love and Hip Hop. So it's only like 5 or 6 of us that I can name from my era that started with me that is still working right now
Well,
on
that,
current shows. So that shows you who we are, the type of following we have, and we don't have millions of followers each. Because I look at everybody's page. Um, I appreciate the authenticity of the people that do follow me and support me. Because again, this book has been number 1 for 6 days straight now,
mhm.
with
In
no
different
promo,
categories.
no press, in different categories. I purposely did not want to do any press. I did not want to do any promo, but on my own social media because it's my story, and I don't need anybody co-signing my story to say that it's worth talking about because it's me. I mean, if I wasn't worth being, it's worth reading and discussing because I'm still here. I have
Yep.
a I didn't get I'm not just here because I'm fabulous and famous. I'm here because I have a story to tell. I've been through things. If you follow my social media, I have my moments where I get on there and shoot some people out and vent and cry and talk and like I'm very transparent and open with my social media. So I knew this would be a treat for not only for myself, but just for people that want to know, well, how did he get here, and why is he still there, and what was it like being friends with this person and being around that person? Because I'm around a lot of different people and I hear a lot of different things, but I did not want this book to be a tell-all. But I did sprinkle tea that applied to me
And
in
that's
it.
the biggest thing. And I tell people all the time, like, you have to look at when someone comes out with a book, you have to look at what they're sharing. And also, like you said, mess with the message. There's messages all through your book. Lessons that people can learn all through. So I'm just excited because it's like just to see, like, people don't know you know how to produce, you know about public relations, you know about brand management, you know about getting things done and closing deals. People need to understand you are not your work ethic is why you've been here this long and you are solid.
I mean, I appreciate that. That is so awesome. I hope you're recording this interview so I can
I
send it to
am.
my sister. um, my eyes got watery. I appreciate that because, and I said it on one of my Instagram posts. I've honestly, since I've started, well, not even since I started. When I started College Hill, I was very naive and green to the industry, and I loved everything about it. Just love. You couldn't tell me nothing bad about working in entertainment. I was on BET. And at the time, when I was on BET, I didn't realize the cultural impact that I would have of being the first ever gay personality, well, gay talent ever featured on BET. I'm the
Yep.
first on the Black Network for us, a network I grew up watching, Teen Summit, Beats, Video Soul, 106 in Park, and now I'm on it. I even got to go on 106 in Park while Julissa and Tigger were hosting and introduce a video. Keisha Cole Love, I introduced Love, and then we went to Spring Bling, and by time the finale of College Show came, I was working at BET in Los Angeles at the time. I worked there for about 3 4 years, working with the PR department. Shout out to corporate communications team, um, Marcella, Sabrina, Tasha, and Leslie. Those ladies taught me everything I know about PR, and that is why who I am. And my first boss, Robin Latiker Johnson, who actually gave me my job at BET, she's gone on to she just was the head of OWN. She helped launch Revolt. She was at Sci-Fi, and she wrote my recommendation letter for graduate school. So I call her my TV mother. Shout out to Robin Latiker Johnson. Shout out to Tracy Edmonds, gave me my start. I mean, Mona Scott Young, like powerful Black women have been the backbone of my career. So I appreciate that.
I love, see, that's what I tell people. Like, y'all need to understand. Like, you didn't just get on and, because I must be honest with you, out of all the people from College Hill, I don't know where everybody at right now, but I know where you are.
Well, a lot of my cast members, some of them, well, let me just not say just for our cast. Shout out to the Virginia State season 3 cast. We all still stay in contact. Deidre actually just had a little boy. Rodney just had a little boy. We fertile right now. Will just had a little boy. Audrina has 2 girls. Anya has a son and a daughter. Rodney has an older son. Actually, Christian was born the day that we filmed our College Hill reunion in 2008. So
Oh my God.
everybody's alive, everybody's well. We're actually planning something. We actually were planning it before the pandemic. We were planning a college show reunion with BET prior to the pandemic, and then that happened, and unfortunately we weren't able to do it. But the college show will always be my first family. That is the first Black reality series in America in the history of television. So there's a special place in my heart for BET and College Hill and all of my cast members. But they're working. Everybody's doing really good. We have a group chat. We have a group thread. We have a there's a College Hill fan page on Instagram. Willie Mack is doing really well. Willie Mack
I
actually
saw.
sold, and he's executive producing a home renovation show that's going to be on TV either later this year or next year. He was on the Virgin Islands season. Fallon has a really popular podcast out here in LA, and she does music. Um, Dorian from Atlanta. Dorian, he has a really popular butter skin line.
Yes, that
So,
skin line.
hello, Dorian.
Look
Shout out
at
to
you glowing.
Dorian. Little shout out to Dorian. And Milan is in Dubai. She has 3 sons, just fabulous, and everybody's doing really good. And I think that it's been 15 years for me since I did the show. Um, Shout out to the first 2 seasons. I know they don't really get recognized that much, but
Well,
I
I'm
think it's
gonna
time
do
for us
this
to get back together. And I think it'd be cool to see some of us back together in a house, maybe like a little vacation rental, and us together for a couple weeks or so, like kind of like how Jersey Shore has their family
Yes,
vacation.
that would be
It
awesome.
I
Because I
would love
really
for
want
us
to
to do
see
something.
Peaches. I really want to see what happened to Peaches from the first season. Because that's
Peaches is actually on the College Hill. Is on the College Hill page, and she's in Atlanta. I actually talked to her a couple months ago. I didn't get a chance to get up with her when I was in Atlanta. I was a little busy, but Peaches is doing very well.
because I'm like, because it's certain people that stood. I was like, y'all know what this is.
Peaches is on there. Israel's on there. Brittany's on there. Coty is on there. Kenda from the first season, No Draws, is on there. Gabriel. I mean, I've been pushing for. They'll tell you I'm the mama of College Hill. I've been pushing any platform I go on, no matter what show I go on to do, movies, books. I'm going to always reference College Hill. I'm going to push for College Hill. I'm going to always mention College Hill because even though some of my cast members went on and did other things in their lives and careers, I don't ever want any of them to feel slighted just because I'm the one that's still out here. Well, I'm one of 3 or 4 or 5 that are out here in the public eye still, but I proudly carry the torch for that series, um, and will always promote them and to celebrate them in any way that I can.
Because it's you all
Because
gave.
we are a part of history. We, the all 6 seasons, we
Yep.
The we are a part of Black culture. We are Black pop culture. We are the first series,
And
and
that's
everybody
why
had
people
different
went to
experience.
college.
We
That's
inspired a
why
generation
people
of
went to
people.
college. That's the whole thing. This is exactly why people went to college. People decided to go to college is because they saw people that looked like them going to class, sleeping
Yep.
late, doing things. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's I never take it for granted. And then when I meet people like you and I talk to other people in the street to stop me and say, "Hey, are you?" It's crazy when people stop me and say College Hill because again, it's been 15 years. But I mean, I'm now it's more love and hip hop. But even with me doing love and hip hop, I brought a whole generation to that show.
you did.
Because I remember I wasn't even in the promo for a new cast member, and I was in the whole trailer. The Shade Room ran a big story about me, like, "Oh my God, that's Misster Ray from College Hill on Love and Hip Hop." And I appreciate the warm area that our community has put me in. Um, I don't mind saying I'm an OG now. I accept my age. I am 38 years old. I don't look it.
Not at
Um,
all.
I appreciate them referencing me and going to college and graduating from college and going on and working. They've been able to see me have different jobs, different gigs, different shows now.
Hmm.
And, again, my first love has always been writing. And to do this book, and again, no promo and no press intentionally. That was my call. My manager was like, "Are you crazy?" My literary agent was like, "Are you dumb? What do you mean no press?" I was like, this is my story. I wrote it on my time. I wrote it on my terms. This is what I have healed from. This is what I'm choosing to share. I ain't had to do this book. I ain't had to let y'all know my tea about me being molested and dealing with the alopecia and different things I talk about in the book. Even talking about, drug use and things like that. I ain't had to share all that. It ain't on the blog. But I chose to share it because, again, I don't ever want someone to tell my story.
Because you have to be the author of what your story what your story should be. You have to be that person. Because I don't want nobody telling my business no way. Because that's the biggest thing I tell
Right.
people.
It'll
If you
sound
don't,
better coming from me because I'm going to give you the real tea.
yes, it's not gonna be no ambiguous nothing. You're gonna get everything that you was from the real to raw to uncut. So that's what I'm saying. When people talk about other people, that's the biggest thing on the blogs. I'm like, y'all gotta be careful. Go straight to the person and ask them. Maybe you'll get some exclusive if you just go to them and not report the case. You know?
And because of the title of my book, Mess with the Message, a lot of people assumed my book was a tell all. And I was like, no, it's really not a tell all. They thought it was going to be about only love and hip hop. There was Misster Ray before love and hip hop came, honey. So I've had like I said, I've had a very interesting life, a very eventful, exciting life. Uh, I'm like the prodigal son in the Bible. I went away from home, lost my way a little bit, went home to recharge, and I attribute that to the pandemic. I was able to go home, be in Atlanta, be in Virginia, just recharge, refocus, align myself with what my purpose, what I think my purpose is, what I know it is now. I thought it did, but I know it now. And just really follow through with the things that I knew I wanted to do so that I could be impactful to my community because I was able to meet our now Vice President Kamala Harris. While I was in Atlanta, I was actually on the Biden Harris LGBT campaign and the Biden Harris HBCU LGBT students campaign. And I was able to actually go to an event and see her speak. And she talked to me directly, and we got to take a picture. And she said, "It's my job as an alumni."
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time I wasn't enrolled at Virginia State for grad school. It's my job as alumni to preserve the tradition and to promote the tradition and to do what we can on our platforms to be impactful and to leave a legacy behind so that other people can build upon it and learn from it. And that just stuck with me. I mean, I get emotional repeating what she said to me. So I was really excited when she won. I'm so glad she's in office. That's a moment I will never, ever forget. I did get to go to Barack Obama's second inaugural ball. I did get to go to that with Kenya Moore. Shout out to Kenya Moore for that. But to meet her, and while she was on her journey, and I've been, if you follow me on social, I've been promoting Kamala since she was running for president. Uh, I met her in West Hollywood actually at the Abbey, and she looks you dead in your eyes, and she talks to you like an auntie, like, "Now listen." And I just took that to heart, and it sits with me still. I'm on a high still talking about it. So and I want to do my part. I don't know if she's gonna remember me or not, but I remember her, And what she said to me changed my perspective on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, even down to questioning if I wanted to go back to love and hip hop or not. Because but I think with the pandemic and all that's going on and the new direction that the show is going with the family reunion and just seeing how we as Black people and how networks are showing Black people now and how we're representing ourselves, I feel way more confident because I didn't want to add to the stigma or add to the drama anymore. Though there's going to be drama naturally, I just didn't want to be a part of a negative, I didn't want to have a negative connotation with my name anymore. We all naturally messy now. We all repeat some
We
things and we
do.
ask some questions. But
Because everybody'
deliberately
business
do.
is good as long as you're not talking about yourself. Sometimes.
Hello, but listen. Sometimes you won't talk about yourself. You'll talk about other people.
Yes.
But just going forward with whether it be Love and Hip Hop, another show, anything else I do going forward till I close my eyes, I just want to always have a positive impact anywhere I go in the long run. Might not be immediate, but the mess and the message will come out at the end.
I mean, and this is the beautiful thing because I have a client, her saying is impact over popularity. And you have done that since the beginning since being introduced to you. You have been
Influence.
impactful. Yes, you are like everybody's like, oh, I'm an influencer. No.
Again, I just, and even with the talk of influencers, like I have actually won an award for being a social influencer when I was in DC. Um, but I think that this book and releasing it the way I did, and for it to
Mhm.
be a number on the first day be a number one bestseller, and then be a number one release on 10 different lists after that, and still number one on the college university list and the LGBT list. Um, 8 days later, like 7 days later, this is the
It's
testament to being impactful and being influential
And there's a difference because
and
people
being
don't
credible.
understand that. You have to understand for you to be number one on every single list and without even major promotion, no mainstream. I mean, you could get mainstream without a problem.
And I'm setting it up. I'm going to start doing my interview. I just started doing interviews. Today is actually my first day of interviews. So before you, I had three before you. I got two more after you. I got two tomorrow. I got one Friday, bunch on Saturday. Of course, the BET Awards on Sunday. I'll be out for the BET Awards. And then all next week, I have promo, like I have TV promo that'll be like in the DC, Virginia, Maryland, New York, Philadelphia markets, Atlanta market. Like all my stuff is going to be virtual, of course, because I'm not traveling because I'm about to start back filming. But I really wanted to do it this way. It went number one already, so now people want to talk to me about it, not me wanting to talk to them and basically convince them to hear my story. Now they wanted to talk to me. Like I have so many email requests. I'm just so blessed. I'm so thankful.
I'm
I just
honored that
it's
you.
not even me a bragging moment. When I know that I could, it's just I surprised myself. And again, this was the first time I really, truly, genuinely felt support from people. And I don't like saying the word fans. I hate that word fan. I love supporters. I love friends. I call everybody friend. Hey, friend. Because again, you don't have to buy my book. You don't have to watch Love and Hip Hop. You don't have to retweet my stuff. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to like what I say. You don't have to show up when I'm hosting stuff. People do that and they pay money for it. And I do not take any of that for granted because I appreciate it. I genuinely do.
And I thank you so much because when I said, let me just send this email and, hopefully it goes, if it get there. And I mean, because it was important for me because I want people to understand like this is impactful more than anything. And, to have seen you grow and evolve and I've seen I'm like, I got to talk to him because you have already inspired so many other people and I want to keep that going. And I honestly, this is a part of me doing this is a part of my legacy as well because it's like you got to give people their flowers and thank them. And I thank you for what you brought to us because I'm gonna shout out Keith Pollard. He works for the Wanda Austin Foundation in DC. And
Okay.
that's like, and I'm gonna say this, he's been one of my friends forever and a day. I can't even
Okay.
go back the number of years. Like even my kids were little babies. But this is where see him seeing someone like you, me seeing someone like you, others around us seeing someone like you, show that you could be yourself and be authentic in yourself and still succeed. So this is where I'll say you have been so impactful in so many different ways to people's lives, and we can't thank you enough for that.
Oh my goodness, you got my eyes all watery. No, I don't take any of this for granted. I mean, being in the entertainment industry has not been easy. It's probably the hardest thing I could have chosen to do, and I have not yet mastered it. And I don't think anybody's ever mastered. I mean, I've I've been able to work with Jamie Foxx and Lisa Ray. Um, I've been at events with Diddy. I've met Oprah. I've been in the same room with Beyonce. I'm friends with so many different people that I don't promote and acknowledge publicly because I cherish those private taco nights and those little game nights or those little girl nights or those little weekend getaways that we do that I don't post about. Um, I'm so glad I have not changed. My weight has changed. My hair has grown back. Um, I feel like my joy is back. I got my heart back. Um, you can lose yourself in this industry, not necessarily from drugs or alcohol, or it's the pressure of looking a certain way, the pressures of being in certain places at certain times around certain people, the
Mm-hmm.
pressure of not necessarily even agreeing with certain things, but okay, well, this is the wave right now, and I need to be around these people, so let me just suck it up, and then you end up drinking to suppress your true being of not wanting to be in certain places and certain times, and you start drinking to suppress that. And a lot of times people can't control that because drinking what it makes you tell your real feelings and how you feel. And a lot of times when you see people online having these outbursts, they're not crazy, they're not high, they're literally just can't take it and can't be fake about whatever situation it is anymore. And
Yep.
unfortunately, we our way of venting because of who we are and our jobs and our careers. We get on social media because we want people to know we're tired, we're done. We might not want to meet with you face to face and say this, but I'm gonna say it on this Twitter, I'm gonna say it on this Instagram post,
It's a
and I'm gonna
safe
let you and
space.
everyone else know. It's a safe space for me because it's mine. It's verified. It gets no more realer than that. But like I said, I've had my breakdown moments, and I don't regret any of them because each thing I've gone through has made me a stronger person. I mean, hell, loving hip hop. I took a boxing class after loving hip hop. I'm like, bitch, you gonna hit me again?
Yeah, won't get
Cause
what
again,
on me.
I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up fighting with my siblings, fighting with my cousins. I didn't even get in fights in high school like that. Like now, maybe in elementary, middle school, got in fights and stuff like that because people used to call me gay, and I had weight on me. Oh, everybody would have schooled me was skinny, so I would sit on their ass or choke them or something. And then I got older and I stopped growing, and people kept getting taller than me, so I was just a sassy black boy with a lot of mouth. But I can't tell you that I can. You can go back to. I have friends from elementary school that I'm still in contact with, middle school, high school, college, church, different cities I've lived in. I don't fall out with people. I'm not a nasty, mean person. I could
No.
not see you for 5 years and bump into you like I've done people here in LA. Oh my God! And here we are drinking, having a good time, and catching up like time has not passed. I'm a good spirited person, and I love life, and I love people, and I love what I do. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people can be phony and fake, and it will discourage you, and it has discouraged me many times. But you meet new people. They're just as genuine and authentic and feel like you've known them just as long as the person who did you dirty. So,
I'm so thankful that you're sharing your life lessons, your life, and you've shared yourself. Like we honestly, like low key, we all cousins now because you done been.
friend, that's what I tell people when they see me. Call me friend. Hey, friend. Like, now, unless I'm drinking and I'm in a bad mood, I will always speak back. Now, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to tell you directly, I don't want to talk right now. And my friends are like, that is so rude. Stop
It's
saying that.
not.
But it's not because if you're gonna irritate me if you keep talking. If I say I'm not in the mood right now, just let me get myself together. I mean that.
And it is
I'm
we have
I
to
don't want to take a
respect
picture with
that.
you when I'm drunk. I don't take a picture with you while I'm drunk. I don't take a picture while I'm arguing with my date or if we're in the middle of a conversation. Like I don't want to stop what I'm doing. Like I'm very approachable. I'm very normal. But you will respect my space and you will respect my boundaries. I get it. I'm Mr. Ray and you are you. We are both people and we are sharing this space together. But give me a minute, okay? That's what I'm saying. I don't ever want to be Beyonce. I could not. I go to 7-Eleven too much to get Slurpees and hot dogs. Well, I don't get hot dogs no more. I get the little fruit. But I go to 7-Eleven too much. Like,
She can't even go
no.
nowhere.
I go to the dispensary at least 2 times a week. Like, I do too many normal things to ever be Beyonce. I could never. Like I like to go to after hours sometimes. I like to go to bingo with my grandma. I don't want nobody trying to bum rush my 89-year-old grandma to get to me.
Not at the
Now,
bingo.
now I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of them old ladies do watch Love and Hip Hop, and they do know who Ali Carr's grandson is. So I was very shocked when that happened because my grandma was like, "Eh, "Can I help you? Is that your grandson?" Like the way my family reacts to people knowing me is funny every time because I've been doing it so long. To them, it's normal. Like me doing television is normal. So when they see people walk up on me, they're like, "Oh, I forgot, Mr. Ray. Yeah."
Because they ready to say, you know what? What do you want? What you doing? What you coming over here for? Because I mean, but it's the beauty of family knowing and loving you, and I love that. So
But they love it though. When people talk to them and say, "Hey, your brother is, or your cousin is, or your nephew or your son is," they get a kick out of it because to them, it's this is Lil Ray. This is my son. This is my brother. Like, you know him, or what did he say, or what did you see that I didn't see? Like, it's always like sometimes it's a little stressful because um, people will see things before my sisters or my brothers or my nieces or cousins see stuff, and they'll go to them like, "Oh my God, Ray posted this or I saw this," and they don't know about it. So then they're all calling me at one time, and I'm already dealing with whatever's going on online. So they're just them being concerned. But again, it's just that because we are such a tight knit family on both sides, like the situation with A1 or the situation with Zell. You know how my family was booking, they was booking flights, honey.
I,
Like my sister was, my brother in law. I have two brother in laws. They was on flights, like
yeah,
like
you want
it
to
was not a
see?
game.
That's
It was not
family,
a game.
and not
Um,
everybody has that. That's a blessing within
no,
itself.
no, and I like I said it then, and I said it again. People that I don't deal with on television, I wish you would get booked in Virginia, DC, or Maryland. You will have a surprise waiting on you at that club, and I.
Hello. And I don't think
But
people
no,
understand that. Like you, like we
I
love.
have a very big family.
Yes, and it's not a thing. It's not. It's nothing for people to show up. Like what you say, and that's the beautiful part of leaving such an impact out, even outside. Because I will always say this: like you've left such an impression on, and I just
My shout out to Miss Gardner, my high school teacher. She was my 10th grade, her first year teaching. I was in her English 10th grade honors English class. Had her 10th, 11th, and 12th grade for yearbook, as well as honors English for 12th grade. So she was with me through that whole transition of I knew I was gay, but I didn't want to say I was gay because I was like, "Bitch, I'll be in college next year. I can be gay in college. I ain't got to worry about sneaking out the house no more." She knew so many things about me that my family didn't know because, again, that was a different era for people that were gay. We weren't, that wasn't a thing to be out and about and gay. And I was the sashaying all over the place. I was the mascot, Mr. Warrior, and then I was the mascot at Virginia State. So I love the cheerleaders. What gay man don't like being around the cheerleaders? Like, hello. Um, and I got to dance around with the dance girls. I was in gay boy, gay boy heaven. But I just, me being who I am and growing up how I grew up, I appreciate the conservativeness. I appreciate my wild side. Forever, I will always love Richmond, Virginia. That is my home. When I'm home, they show me so much love. Um, I just, I'm just always pinch myself, a boy from Richmond, Virginia. Like I didn't grow up knowing a bunch of celebrities were in Virginia. Like I knew about Arthur Ashe, and then as I got older, Trey Songz and Wale and Chris Brown all started when we did College Hill. They actually
yes they did.
filmed scenes for us for College Hill. They didn't air them, but they came to the house several times. Trey was actually dating one of my girlfriends. There was a woo woo, Tamika. Chris was a new artist. Chris was
Yep.
a new artist, so he traveled a lot. He did a lot of BET events with us. Neo had just came out, so that's how I became friends with Neo. Still to this day, Neo was just starting out, so he was on the BET promo tour with us when we were doing College Hill. Keisha Cole, that's when I first got to meet her. She was doing The Way It Is when we were doing College Hill. So when we came on Love and Hip Hop season 4 together, it was just crazy because I remember when my first show, College Hill, she was doing her show, and now we're on this together. Unfortunately, she came on as a friend of the enemy at the time, so that was nothing on camera for that. Still love her music, but it was a little like, really,
Girl,
girl, I'm your biggest fan, and you friends with him. It was that kind of shade. It was in my mind. It was because I promise you, I never saw Keisha while we filmed season four. Even at the reunion, she did her performance and her little interview segments before my segments with Zell. So I never really saw her while we did any of the scenes for season four. And that's common. You can film a whole season with someone and never see them.
That's crazy.
My first season, because of the storyline, we had the A storyline. Zell and I were season four all together, but I was able to film with just about everybody. And then even season six, I was able to film with K Michelle and Yo Yo. So I appreciate production for even putting me with people that were of substance. Like Yo Yo's legendary. K Michelle, that's she's like the biggest name out of the franchise. And, I was filming with Masika and Moniz, Hazel, Tiara. I mean, Princess. Ray J, where am I? Like I've Nikki Baby. I've literally got to film with all the veterans that have started loving hip hop Hollywood. So,
You, that,
again, I appreciate that. I ain't got to be in the opening credits, but I filmed the scene with everybody on their show.
but even though you're not an open, but you are the show. Like to me, there's some
Now
people
I'm
that
not the show now, girl. I
you
ain't the
are
show.
the
I'm
show. Like
a
your storyline is the show. You know what I'm saying for me because I'm gonna be honest with you because I can't. Some of the people I just can't get into, and I'm gonna be honest. Like what you want me to say?
But
I
that's
just
why there's so many of us because there's
because
so
it's
many of us. You can pick. It's about 30 of us on the cast, so you can
yeah.
pick who you get to pick who you like.
That's what I'm saying. I
And I
picked who
love
I like and who I could understand because some of the storyline I just couldn't make it go and it just didn't go together. I'm like, how y'all? Okay,
Well,
girl.
I
I
love
don't.
season six. Out of all the seasons I filmed, I was in season four the most, and season six the most, of course. Season five, I was pretty much like in and out. But out of all three seasons I filmed, season six was my favorite. I felt like they gave a balance to everyone. With there being so many of us, everybody had equal camera time.
And I
You
learned,
didn't
and
see.
this is the thing that I learned the most about it was, there were certain parts where yeah, it was the after show where you were talking and you giving the wrap up. That's what things made sense. Things made sense then. You know what I'm saying? That's when things made sense because you were being able to put, because watching the show, you got to watch the after show or the, when you all are talking in the commentary for it sometimes to connect the dots because especially with April